Hello Libra, and welcome to your March 2025 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with the Moonology cards. So what is it that Libra needs to know for March? Start with your dreams need a practical plan. Okay, I like this card a lot because it's that reminder that dreams aren't really all that useful if we're not taking actionable steps towards them, right? And we know that Libra, now this is kind of a stereotype, may or may not apply to you. I'm not trying to project all these stereotypes out there, but I do know that Libra can sometimes procrastinate, put things off, whatever. This is not a time to do that, all right? This is a time for time management and making sure that you're sticking to a routine that is healthy and beneficial and is actually guiding you in the proper direction. You do really need to know some semblance of a path, right? You need to have in mind some idea of where this is, of the way this is supposed to go. Now, there will be detours and things in the universe will intervene and whatever, and that's fine, and we can deal with that when the time comes. But for the most part, your ability to do what you say you're going to do is going to be to your benefit. I mean, that always is the case, but I think right now is especially true. Now, we have a really strong month. Okay, March is a powerful month. Okay, we have this card that says, make your dreams real. Oh, I love that. Your dreams need a practical plan and make your dreams real. Okay, this is not about keeping things in the dream realm. This is about making things happen in reality so you can actually have and experience them in a tangible way. This is about the money in the bank, okay, metaphorically speaking, or literally, I don't know. But it's about the, the money in the bank, all right? Astrologically, we have a big eclipse in Virgo, okay, a full moon lunar eclipse, total eclipse. On the 14th, we have a Mercury retrograde. Your ruling planet Venus is retrograde opposite of you as of March 1st. So the very first day of March, Venus goes backwards, directly opposite of you. I actually think you and Aries are going to be the ones that are going to be most impacted by that, okay? We have Mars now officially moving direct, which is great. The Mercury retrograde is also in Aries, conjunct Venus retrograde, so it gets a little sloppy out there, but that's okay because I think the Mercury retrograde really adds to our ability to see things in unique ways. It really opens our mind and helps us to navigate things in a more circuitous manner, so we can come up with a plan to make our dreams real that is implementable. Is that a word that we can actually implement? Because what good is a plan if there's things you can't do in that plan, right? So now is a good time for finding a solution to your problem, which is the problem that you have is that your dream isn't already real. You're not already living your dream. So the solutions to the problem is right there. You just have to open your mind to them. Okay, Libra, what else? What else do you need to know for March? Okay. Six of Cups. On one hand, there's an element of the past that comes out. Something nostalgic, something endearing. I don't know that this is, I'm seeing so much movement toward the World card, though, with that Six of Wands. Maybe this is a move you're making out of the past. But I don't see this necessarily as being a bad thing. Like it's not some bad pattern that you have or whatever, but it might be that you're trying to keep something alive that's just not really there anymore. It's almost like, those people who are 50 years old and they're like, oh, in high school, I had this one thing that happened to me and it was the best thing ever. And like, they're like living, like it wasn't a bad thing that happened in the past, but It has nothing to do with what's going on now. It's like, okay, so you did that 20 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever. So what are you talking about? Like what's going on? It has nothing to do with it. But maybe it's what you need to believe in yourself, because maybe you had some kind of success back then, you had some kind of a dream back then or whatever, but maybe that's driving it. That's driving your desire for change. But again, it's not meant for you to cling on to. We're not trying to believe in things of the past. We can leverage the past. But yeah, we'll see what the clarifiers have to say with that, with the comprehensive reading. I'm not really sure. We'll see what the card underneath it has to say as well. But for now, I think we're just kind of moving away. But this is, we can leverage that and say, well, if I've done it once, I can do it before, or I had this dream and now's the time for me to do it. And I think this is Libra, like really getting on that warrior energy and saying, okay, now's the time. It's really hard. I think we have all the intention in the world in January and February, even December. We have all the intention in the world to do all this stuff. We have all the intention in the world to have our New Year's resolutions and to whatever, get back to the gym, to work harder, to start that business, whatever. But sometimes it's like it kind of falters when we initiate during that particular time in the cycle, because from an astrological perspective, Capricorn, even like Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces seasons, these are the end of the cycle, the end of the year. So now we want to think of now as a beginning, like as we are approaching the end of the Zodiac through Pisces, we're also approaching the new beginning, which is the equinox point. And so we're a lot more supported astrologically to launch and to initiate new things. So this is a good time to do it. So if you have felt like you have been procrastinating, or you have been putting something off, or you've been dragging your feet with something, now's the time where I think you say, okay, enough of that. It's time for me to initiate and really get this stuff done, because there has been some faltering before. So again, it seems like it's kind of a long-standing ambition of yours, or a long-standing dream. I think it's time for you to fully embrace that. But again, you need a plan. You need to think this through. And I like that with the Hermit. There's a lot of analysis involved. Now, we don't want to go into a state of analysis paralysis where we're like incapable of making moves because we're just thinking so hard about things and we have so many questions that cannot be answered. But I think thinking things through is always a good thing, and to think things through philosophically. And when we're trying to uncover solutions, the Hermit is a really good energy to have, because there's a lot that can be channeled through, a lot of inspiration, a lot of clarity, a lot of new ideas, a lot of, kind of, pings, I guess we could say. The universe kind of pings you. You can get pinged a lot. And it's because your mind is quiet, it's because you're disconnected from the noise of life. And I think you're going to need to take some time. Now, the eclipse happens on the 14th. Mercury retrograde happens on the 15th. So middle of the month, directly in the middle, it's very intense. This is the perfect time, especially the build up, like 4 or 5 days before. It's the perfect time to just kind of take a step back and kind of just let life coast a little bit. And I think during that time, yes, there will probably be events that help kind of move the needle a little bit, but I also think you're going to get some pretty significant downloads during that time as well. And when it comes to putting together a plan, middle of March is probably the best time for Libra to sit down and think of like, how am I really going to do this? Like I say, this Six of Cups feels more and more like fuel to me. Like that dream from a long time ago, that ambition, whatever. It feels like it is fueling a lot of your action right now. And maybe some of you are trying to fulfill like childhood dreams, maybe not so far back as all that. I'm kind of being a little extreme with it, but it does feel like something that's been on your mind for a very long time. And this is something that you know, again, have probably been procrastinating on, or you've been putting it off for reasons that you can't even really rationalize in your own mind. So you get over all that. The Hermit, you disconnect, you start receiving solutions, you start seeing things in a different light, and there's an awakening. I think that eclipse is going to be, there's going to be a lot of clarity, which is kind of strange because it's Pisces season, and there can often be a lot of delusion that happens there. But I see the opposite for Libra. It feels like you come up out of some kind of a haze or a darkness, and you suddenly transcend a lot of stuff, and you see things now from a 10,000 foot perspective that you didn't see before. With Temperance, and I really like the angels, both two angels coming through, because it speaks of kind of a divine guidance. And I think right now, Libra, you can lean on the divine guidance and trust. And I want to say trust in the signs, but I don't want you to start looking for signs, okay? I don't want you to look for angel numbers. I don't want you to look for like coincidences and or synchronicities, as we say, right? I don't want you to look for that kind of stuff, because I don't think that's the type of sign that we're really looking. We're not looking for like confirmation bias type of stuff, okay? The signs that I mean is just kind of like where opportunities align, okay? And they'll be so small and so subtle, but I think the process is going to start to become easier. The process of movement, the process of implementation, the process of actualization, right? The process of actual manifestation, all those things become easier because the opportunities just kind of line up. That's the type of sign that I'm talking about or looking for. It's simplicity. It's ease. There's relief with things. Because I think what's actually happening on a grander scale is that the more and more you align with your dream, and the more you take actions in accordance to that dream, the more head-heart alignment you experience, because you're no longer fighting. Because sometimes with the dreams are tricky, because we can experience so much resistance with them, right? We can experience so much pushback because we have all these things. Oh, I don't deserve it. Now's not the right time. I couldn't handle it even if it did happen. You know, it's like people who are they're single. They've been single forever. And I can say this because I was single for a long time. Single forever, single for 10 years. I've been doing this on my own. I'm independent. I couldn't imagine, sharing a house, sharing a bed with someone. I couldn't imagine, living with someone. All these things. Can't imagine. But yet you still dream of a relationship. You still dream of finding a love of your life. So the dream becomes a resistance point because realistically, you're like, oh, but I like to be independent. So it doesn't mesh. Well, I think what's happening now is that you're kind of releasing a lot of narratives that don't mesh and going toward the bigger. Like, you're not leaning into the realistic restriction of it, you're leaning into the dream. And instead of creating a life based on like, oh, but I like to be independent. Again, that's just an example, right? Oh, I like to be independent. I like to be on my own. Now you're like, well, I actually really do want a relationship. So I'm just going to do the things, I'm just going to align my life toward a relationship now instead. Because that is what I really want, because you can be single all you want, or you can be, at a certain financial level all you want. But if you're dreaming of much more or much better or much bigger, you can't align your dream, you can't align your plan with the restricted level. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm seeing you aligning more now with the dream and planning. So that's where the head heart alliance and the coherence comes to play. And so now your soul is like, finally, I'm not getting in my own way anymore. Finally, I'm not, cutting off all the opportunities anymore. Finally, I'm allowing myself to believe. Finally, I'm having faith. And now finally we can make it happen, because again, the universe is just going to align everything up, and it's gonna create a path that makes sense, that is ease, that creates relief, because now you're not fighting against the thing you want. Okay, and maybe you didn't realize that you were fighting against the very thing you wanted by, I don't know, self-destructive tendencies or narratives or mindsets or whatever. But now's the time for you to kind of just say goodbye to all that. And I don't even think that that's even it's not even like a process. It's just like, all right, goodbye, and then you just move on. So now we have the Two of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Three of Coins. I really like now, just so you know, this is after, right, here's the eclipse and Mercury retrograde, then we enter Aries. Now we have Aries season coming on, and we've got a whole shift in the energy, because now this is the time where we really start to implement. So we start collaborating, we start working with people. First of all, there are going to be conversations that you have to have. Okay, you're going to have to sit down with people. You're going to have to make agreements. You're going to have to sign contracts. You're going to have to exchange money. You're going to have to, finagle and make things work for mutual benefit. Because that is what is in line with the practical plan, that is aligned with the dream. These relationships are not just for fun and giggles, right? These are meaningful relationships that are dedicated to the growth of each person involved and for the development and the betterment of each person or institution involved. Now, on a minimum, this can be a conversation. Maximum, there could be, like I say, legal agreements, soulmate qualities, best friends, really emotionally and intellectually and creatively aligned, whatever element whatever place on the spectrum you are there, it doesn't really matter. Fact of the matter is, though, is that you're collaborating and you are working with people, and those relationships are going to be the vehicle or the vessel through which this dream is actualized. Okay, at least the beginning stages of it anyway. Now, the King of Swords is definitely the Libran energy. It does feel a little bit prickly. I will tell you that. It feels a little, just really businessy. And I just think right now, Libra, you have to be really businessy. You have to be very strict on your standards and your expectations, and you have to be unafraid to confront people who are not meeting that expectation or the expectations of the agreement or whatever. And I think you are in a demanding position, which I don't think is the most comfortable place for Libra to be. But I think it's a must, especially with Mars in the 10th house. You are the leader, whether you like it or not. And I know you are taking on a lot of leadership energies right now. You have to take people's hands and guide them and show them exactly what you need and exactly what you want. Like I say, this like past thing, whatever, is really fueling all of this. And so this is your dedication to not letting it just be this empty dream again. Because I'm wondering if at one point this was a dream that you had, or it was something you had in your mind of like, oh yeah, maybe someday I'll do it. I just don't think you want it to be empty anymore. You don't want it to be just some kind of endless thing that just goes on and on and on and you never actually accomplish. It's just always something you only ever talk about. I don't think you want that. I think you're tired of talking, you're tired of thinking, you're tired of dreaming about it. And now it's like, okay, let's just freaking do this already, And so the King of Swords is a bit curt. It's a bit harsh and a bit brutal, but it also is realistic and strategic and scientific and says, well, this just is what has to be done. And when it comes to Three of Coins, more collaboration, you show up unapologetically and say, with people, This is what I want. This is how it's going to be done, or this is how I'm going to provide it. This is, you can be really, really clear with everything, understanding that these collaborations are a building block in making your dreams real. So it's really on your plate to make sure that these collaborations go well, to make sure these relationships are moving in the direction that you want them to go. And if they're not, you either have to correct course or you have to get out, and you're going to have to make some big decisions about these relationships. Are they actually worth it? Are they actually mutually beneficial or not? They should be. They definitely should be. If they're not, King of Swords, you are going to have to do something about it, because your dreams are not coming online right now for no reason. Pisces season has a purpose. The dreams are here specifically for manifestation. They're here for you to experience. They are how your soul communicates with you what it wants in this lifetime. And it's not a ego thing. Okay, we have to get that out of our heads right now, because when the sun comes into Aries, it is exalted. And when the sun is in a strong position like this, there's not a lot of room for ego. This is soul type of stuff, which is why Aries is known for being so impulsive, because the soul is just like, I want to live life. I'm a human being. I want to go do the human things while I'm here. Let's go. It's very real and raw and authentic. And I don't think anyone can accuse, even in a stereotypical thing, of anyone with Aries in their charts as being an inauthentic person, So there's a lot of authenticity that comes out. And we have to be able to decipher which relationships are conducive to that, So anyway, let's pull out the clarifiers. Let's see what comes through for Libra. So for those of you who are new, we're going to pull out 27 minimum new cards. We're going to talk about these in the comprehensive reading. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. The link for that will be in the description box in the comment thread down below. We normally talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. So again, if you want to join, you're welcome. So let's go ahead and see what comes through, Libra, for the Six of Cups. What is it that you need to know here? The Star. Some kind of a destiny thing. Something that you've probably known was your destiny for a long time. Seven of Wands. Beautiful Sun. Nine of Cups. Knight of Wands. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for the noise too. Let me see. Make sure I didn't pick them upside down. Chariot. High Priestess. Knight of Coins. Sorry about that. Getting a phone call. Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Coins, love that, with the Nine of Coins. A lot of energy around that eclipse. A lot of new opportunities around the eclipse Mercury retrograde time. Five of Coins, Hanged Man, King of Wands. Now for Aries season, we have Page, the Six of Coins, Five of Swords. Okay. Really liking the sword energy a lot, as swords are connected with the air element, which you are an air element. Ten of Coins, Death, and Seven of Coins. Okay. All right, Libra, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are welcome. Again, link in the description box and the comment thread down below. Thank you so much. You guys know I love and adore you. Hope you have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.